yak off, pay off, things aren't looking up, and take my wife, I mean me, please, on today's episode of 1, 2, 3 Jokes!
Jokes! Welcome everybody to 1, 2, 3 Jokes, the competitive comedy podcast where we take 3 stories from the news, write 3 jokes about each story, and decide who has written the funniest jokes. My name is Jeremy Martinez.
My name is Ricardo Leone.
I am Bob Timmons.
I'm Carly Kastner.
I'm Miss Vanessa.
Ms. Vanessa.
Joining us once again to help us out with news reading, because Carly was supposed to be out of town, but she got home just in time to step in and be the judge.
Carly, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be out of town.
You guys keep freezing, and I know you were talking about me, and I don't know what you said, and I'm pretty sure it was mean.
Yeah,
All
I just
correct.
called you. Yeah, we just called you some names. That's all.
Okay, so the usual. Nothing I haven't heard before.
Well, Aaron Kraft could not be here today, our resident judge. So filling in is Carly Kastner, our new resident judge.
Not new, but certainly
Our used resident
I
judge.
will be judging this episode. And I gotta tell you, thank you to Vanessa because, oh shit, did I freeze again?
Yeah.
Did you guys hear me?
I can hear you now.
You guys keep freezing, but I don't know if I'm freezing for you.
Little.
No, it's been great, Carly. So we'll see you later.
We did it? That was the show? Wow, what a dream. It froze right through it. No, I was going to say thank you to Vanessa because it's really nice to be able to come on the show like Aaron Kraft does with zero responsibility. No pressure. Very excited.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were frozen again, but you just had no reaction to what I just
Get used to it.
Yeah. Ricky, why are you so damn close to the camera? Is there supposed
Much
to be some
better.
big reveal? Are you upside down? Be honest. Are you actually?
Are you doing a Spider-Man?
Be honest.
No, this is upside down.
Are you upside down right now? You looked upside down for a second.
I think he was laying backwards on the couch, you know, like laying with your head at your feet.
My right side up.
Huh.
Well, this is great for the listener. That's for sure.
Right side up. Which one?
I have to say, the special effects on this show are getting very, very high tech.
Now, before they were non-existent, so high tech comparatively is them at all.
Yeah.
Carly, you mentioned something about your vagina or something. I forget. You had a story about it. Am I misremembering?
I froze again. Are you talking about me?
Yeah, we're talking about your vagina. Do you want to talk about it?
What?
Or something about a camel toe?
Oh, okay. Someone in the last episode had mentioned
Oh.
camel toe. I said I got a story about a camel toe. So it's not what you're thinking. Everyone, put your wieners away. Okay, so this is the story.
Okay, hold on. Shove it
camel
back in
toes
there.
only.
When I was at ASU, I wasn't a theater student, but I wanted to audition for all the shows. And I knew I was at a supreme disadvantage by not being a theater student because there's a lot of nepotism in the department, or at least there was. So I was like, okay, they're all going to have these sick monologues that they're like teachers and professors who are in the audition process are going to know. And I was auditioning for a show and I needed one dramatic and one comedic monologue. And dramatic monologues are very easy to find. And I feel like
Me too.
drama in general is easier than comedy. So I found a dramatic monologue, fine. Then I was like, fuck, I cannot find a funny monologue anywhere. Monologues are not funny. You cannot deliver this shit well. Like, it's not stuff from shows anyone's seen, right? Like, these monologues are from plays that no one's ever heard of.
Yeah, comedic monologue. I totally back you up. Comedic monologues are really stupid because, like, who thought this was funny? Like, none of this is
Terrible.
funny. And
Terrible.
I gotta make it funny.
So
Yeah, 'cause you're the performer, and that's your responsibility.
well, if the writing is really bad in an audition process where there's no prior context, it's just the like paragraph you're speaking. It's so hard, right? Okay. So I thought, I'm a writer. I'll write my own monologue. And I wrote a monologue about camel toes. And I made up the name because you have to, when you introduce your monologue, you have to say, this is a monologue from this show, and that show was written by blah, blah, blah. So you have to say who it was written by.
Yeah.
So I made up the name of a show. I made up the name of a writer, and I did a monologue I wrote, and I got the part, baby.
Oh!
Did you lift the material from the popular show, The Camel Toe Monologue?
I think I wrote the monologue was about like someone I knew who had a camel toe, and it just was a glorious piece of comedic masterful writing.
And they go, we cast you for the part, but we're gonna change the play. We're trying to find one by the author, the same one that wrote your monologue.
It made me realize like how dumb the audition process is, and it's really like, do you look the role? Like, do you look like the role? And can you like talk in front of people? And that was pretty much it. But anyway, I never told anyone that. You're the first people I've told that I made up that monologue. I never told anyone.
Well, thank you for bearing all.
Perform it, right?
What?
Now you're gonna perform it.
No.
You know what? I'm going to try to find it. I'll
Now-
see if I have it written down somewhere.
Now ASU is going to revoke her degree for academic dishonesty.
Well, I wasn't in the theater department, so they can't.
They didn't even want me there.
Technicalities.
They kept asking me to stop auditioning for shows, and I was like, I mean, this was after I graduated, of course.
Well, thank you for sharing, Carly.
Welcome. I thought that was a good story.
That was good.
Guys, doesn't Jeremy kind of look like Forrest Gump right now with the tree in the back and like t-shirt and the hair?
Yeah.
No.
What if I was like, had a road background and I was like,
Yeah, I see it.
Doesn't he look like Forrest Gump because he's so stupid?
I may not be a smart man.
Do we want to get into round one?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Russian traffic officer with golden toilet is arrested after police uncover massive bribery scheme. Police Colonel Alexei Safanov.
That's how you pronounce it. You trail off at the end. That's how I have
Well, it's spelled with a ... at the end.
Oh, I'm sorry. Alexei ellipses.
Vanessa, you're doing great. And just a tip from one newsreader to another. No one that's listening to this podcast can see the story. So you can say whatever name you want, just like with the camel toe monologue. You can make it up. No one will know. And you'll succeed.
This story from Podcast News, byline Miss Vanessa.
Safanov. I can do it. Okay. Police Colonel Alexei Safanov is accused of leading a criminal gang that accepted millions of rubles in bribes from cargo transporters. Officials released footage of Safanov's mansion, its lavish rooms, extravagant decorations, and billiards hall, and even a golden toilet. He is believed to have led a criminal gang which issued permits to grain cargo transporters in exchange for bribes. The permits allowed the transporters to ignore regional laws even when crossing police checkpoints. The Investigative Committee of Russia, which is roughly... Oh, do we freeze?
No, what the fuck is happening with
good.
Ricky?
Oh boy.
Are you okay?
Good.
Maybe stop hanging upside down because I think the blood's rushing to your head.
All right. Napped for a second.
a power
You
nap.
know you're doing well when Ricky falls asleep during your monologue.
Well, that's the thing. Ricardo hates good things, so he'll just check out if it's too good.
The Investigative Committee of Russia, which is roughly equivalent to the FBI in the US, said the group received bribes worth 19 million rubles, which is about $260,000.
That's it?
That's it.
19
Yeah.
million?
You get quite a bit for that.
Yeah. Among the gang members arrested were a former senior traffic officer, a traffic inspector, and 4 civilians. Alexander,
It actually sounded a little Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a senior politician in the country's largest political party, United Russia, said that more than 35 traffic police officers had been detained in the larger operation. Some 80 properties were raided as part of the investigation, with authorities seizing large amounts of cash, expensive cars, and documents, and toilets.
I'll go first if you don't mind.
All right.
Okay. As punishment for his rampant corruption, he will be sentenced to serving 10 years as Vladimir Putin's Minister of Trade and Commerce.
First you get the drugs, then you get the gold toilets, then you start wiping with $100 bills, then you get the gold bidet, then you go back to the $100 bills because that's more baller, right?
Now, remind me, which country was this?
You know, Russia, East LA, Russia.
It's from Russia, fool.
Scarface, Carly, you know Scarface, Al Pacino.
Yeah, the one that with all the people who starred from it
The one with all
with
the
that
people.
accent. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'll go next.
Yeah, that movie with all the people that starred in it.
They had that accent that Ricky did.
Now you have to be discreet. You don't want anyone getting suspicious, okay? Absolutely. You can count on me. Cut 2. Yes, I'd like your finest gold toilet.
Well, what do you know? Another public servant caught with their hand in the golden toilet jar. Disgusting.
That's what they call it over there.
You're a dirty cop, McGarnagle. And you know what a dirty cop gets? That's right. The golden squatty potty helps you leverage a deeper, more thorough wipe.
Fucking McGonagall. The officers charged with the corruption had a face-to-face with Vladimir Putin, where he tousled their hair and said, "Get out of here, you crazy kids."
You froze, and people giggled, and I felt like it was probably good.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, I'll write that down.
All right.
In Russia, corruption land you in jail. Oh, same as America? See, Americans, we are same. This joke written and paid for by Russian Department of Global Affairs.
I don't understand the accent because Ricky did a different one.
Oh, but I'm sorry. I am very much Colombian.
The last time I was bribing police, I had a number 1 and a number 2 guy. Now I want you to be both guys. Golden toilet.
Wow, a Rolls Royce. Not too shabby. What did you say you did for a living? I wear a sandwich board advertising the vape shop down the street. And I think that'll do it for the jokes in round 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Carly, our guest judge for today.
I thought that was a kind of a rough round. Like everyone had one, pardon my pun, but golden joke, and then all the other ones were in the toilet.
I pardon that pun, not your first one.
Okay, so I didn't freeze there. That was my sitcom ending. You know when the sitcom ends and they make the funny last joke and then they go, funny
You did a
joke.
really good job. Yeah, that was awesome.
You got halfway there.
So, okay, anyway, my favorite joke of Jeremy's was probably the last one, where it's same. I obviously can't do a Russian accent or any accent, as Ricky likes to point out. Ricky, I liked your last joke as well. Number 1 guy, number 2 guy. The toilets, both guys. I mean, this
What? The toilets, both guys?
this is pun intended comedic gold.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say comedic shit.
I
That
thought
too.
you were.
Bobby, my favorite joke of yours was the middle one. That one was really good. The one that you did in the middle. It had all
The one with all the
markings-
words.
It had all the markings of a quality joke, and I'm confident that it was a very good joke. So, because you all three had really, really strong jokes in that round, I want to give you all 3 points, except for, you know what? I'm not going to give Ricky a point because he fell asleep during the round, and I feel like that should disqualify him.
I think you should.
The jokes I fell asleep during the story. It's different.
No, you got to hear the story so we get your jokes. And the thing
You
is
gotta
that
hear the story so we get your jokes.
the thing is, Ricky, is that if you can't be awake for the round, if you can't be awake for the story, which in my opinion is the most important part of this podcast, you can't get a point. This will be motivation to stay awake in round 2.
I'll protest. I think that last joke deserves a point.
It does deserve a point, but he also lost the point earlier when he fell asleep.
Okay.
So Ricky has
I can't argue
0
with
because he had a +1, -1. So that leaves us with Jeremy and Bob with 1 point, and Ricky, you're at 0. So stay awake in the next round.
Them's are the breaks.
She's the jug. She can make the rules.
Yeah, I suppose so. That's a fatal flaw in our decision-making process, but there you have it. 1-1-0 going
Carly,
into round 2.
Carly.
Yeah.
When can I take naps during the show?
During burning questions. Then the judging is over.
Then that's
Yeah, or during the other
up.
2 joke tellings. What?
I got to rest up for each round. So like right now, before the story starts, can I take a nap?
Yes, take a nap right now. Go.
Third Eye invented to stop smartphone zombies from bumping into things. The satirical solution is intended to make people recognize the severity of their smartphone addictions, the creator said. South Korean industrial designer Pang Mi-wook said the third eye is a satirical solution in which he hoped would make people recognize the severity of their gadget addiction and look back at themselves. The device, called the third eye, senses when the user's head has been lowered to look at the phone, and it then opens its translucent eyelid. When the person comes within 1 or 2 meters of an obstacle, the third eye beeps to warn them of danger. Mr. Pang said, "This is the look of future mankind with 3 eyes. As we cannot take our eyes off from smartphones, the extra eye will be needed in the future."
That's eerie.
No, it's IE.
Irie?
Boo.
Well, at least I wasn't napping and I was awake enough to think of that shit.
In other words, the lowest bar has been cleared. Congratulations.
Oh, Ricky, your teeth are starting to be infused with green screen, and everything about what I'm looking at is a horror film.
He just hasn't been to the dentist.
he's got Jeremy in his teeth. Gross.
Thanks, you owe me a Coke.
I floss my teeth with you, you pipsqueak.
As Joey walked out into the street, he regretted commanding his Alexa to play his favorite playlist from his favorite band, Third Eye Blind. He realized that his life was quite a bit less than semi-charmed.
Okay.
Baby.
He got hit by a car because of his third eye, blind.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know, a joke's funnier when you have to explain it.
Ricky definitely knows that.
Well, now that we're all asleep.
Ricky, can you sit up like a normal boy, like a big boy? Will you be a big boy today?
What a disappointment to find out that this wasn't an extra eye for looking at porn on your phone. And who knows how far away we are from an extra hand.
A fourth eye is being developed that will attach to the side of your head, so police will be able to see the driver's terrified face after you're hit trying to cross the street.
I already did that joke and better.
I don't know about better, but you already did that.
Yeah.
This is perfect. I need porn to masturbate, but I can only come for if I know for sure someone is watching.
This would be an effective bit of commentary, if not for the fact that in the future, people will no longer walk and instead be carried around in self-driving hamster balls.
I was trying to think of a hamster ball joke.
I always have hamster balls on the mind.
And on the hand. I don't think a third eye is enough. How about a second face that people can talk to while you're looking down? Brilliant!
Just shave your head and like keep the hair.
Is Second Face the sequel to that game Second Life?
Yes.
If it gives me a point, sure.
Then I guess not.
It's a mirror.
This is perfect for FaceTiming with grandma. I need porn to masturbate, but I can only come if I know for sure that grandma is FaceTiming me.
All right. Right now, it's satire. 2 years from now, say hello to the brand new Apple II.
Usually a third eye refers to the ability to see the metaphysical, and I guess being able to see your imminent death from falling into an open trench would qualify.
You did that joke already.
Oh, I'm sorry, I masturbate to my grandma.
Nice.
There we go.
Nice.
Now you're getting it.
Good callback.
Wait a second.
Okay, lot of mediocre stuff in that round too.
You got anything better?
Yeah,
Like masturbating with your grandpa or something?
You know what, Ricky? I actually liked your two last jokes that kind of played off of each other. I mean, I giggled at them; they were fun. But I also was trying to figure out how that has to do with the story, really, because it didn't really talk about the third eye. It just talked about you wanting to be watched while you jerk off.
Yeah, but you have to know for sure. So, like, you're looking.
Oh, you gotta know if someone's in the room. I get it. I like that. Okay.
What?
Okay.
I still don't get it.
You make to porn. but
She's
you can
into
only
it.
tell if you know somebody's looking at you.
Yeah, so if Ricky's like walking down the street jerking off, he doesn't know if people are watching because his head's down in his phone.
Right.
But he puts the third eye on and he'll see, oh my God, there's a lady walking by. Now I know. I can
Luckily,
really
I get off to bumping into people accidentally.
Okay, so I liked Ricky's two jokes that kind of fed off of each other. I did not care for the third eye blind joke at the beginning.
It was very popular in the 90s.
I really enjoyed Bob's Apple II. Clever. That's a
You would.
clever little name.
That's a cute one.
Has anyone ever told you you should go into marketing? That's clever. I loved it. Okay. And then
You hear that, Apple?
Jeremy, I'm struggling to even remember your jokes. I got something. I don't even know what your first one was. Second face for your 2nd one. And then I literally just wrote down masturbate for your third one, but I don't think that was your actual
That
joke.
was not my actual joke.
Your face says it all.
because
down there, Charlie.
well, even though I wrote it down, Jeremy still had an unmemorable round, so I can't give him a point. I think,
Aw.
oof, this is tough because on the one hand, Bob had a good joke. On the other hand, Ricky did have two matching jokes, which I loved.
We do?
Ooh, I love a good little callback. Oh shoot. Can I think about it and then determine my points later? You know what? Fuck it. I'll just give you a time. So Bob gets a point. Ricky gets a point. So going into round 3, we got Jeremy with 1, Ricky with 1, and Bob leading the pack with 2 points.
All right.
man with coronavirus disguises his wife on Indonesian flight. The suspect bought the plane ticket with his wife's name and brought the identity card, the PCR test result, and the vaccination card with his wife's name. But the cover didn't last long. Police say a flight attendant aboard a CityLink plane traveling from Jakarta to Ternate in North Maluku province on Sunday noticed the man change the clothes in the lavatory. Ternate police chief said after arresting the man upon landing, he was only identified by his initials. Police took him for a COVID-19 test, which came back positive. The man is currently self-isolating at home, and police said the investigation will continue.
That is so fucked up.
Yeah, it is funny.
I'm glad. I'm glad we found such a humorous story.
I mean, as far as stories go, it's not as bad as some of the ones we've done. It was a convincing disguise, all the way down to the frilly handkerchief and saying toodaloo in a high-pitched voice.
And make no mistake, this guy also definitely illegally voted for Joe Biden.
Okay, so why else do you think a person would marry a woman identical to himself unless it was to do this exact thing? You know, apart from the amazing sex.
Sex on the mind.
Sex with yourself.
Hey, go have sex with yourself.
Okay.
Grandma watching?
And I would have gotten away with it too.
Shit.
If it wasn't for my meddling erection.
That's how they caught him?
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute.
There's some zod about that lady.
Hey, the science on that doesn't check out because I heard if you have COVID-19, it fucks with your peen.
What?
Is that true?
No.
I think I've heard that too.
That it can give you erectile dysfunction.
Well, sorry the science wasn't on point for that joke.
Do you lose your sense of taste?
Please
This is how
overlook that.
misinformation gets spread. We can't contribute.
Do you lose your senses of taste, smell, and erection?
You don't lose your sense of erection. You just lose your erection.
It's my sixth sense, my erection.
And I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling flight attendants or the cramped seats and restrictive disguise making it so hard to breathe.
This guy's choking me to death. I always disguise myself as a cocaine smuggler whenever I travel, you know, for the cavity searches. I'm a bit real obvious.
Coming this fall to theaters, the 15-minute sequel to Mrs. Doubtfire, Mrs. Doubtfire 2. Nice try, motherfucker.
The whole flight?
The whole flight? Why is that the line that sticks out?
Everybody remembers. I love that line.
I love that line so much. The whole time.
Anybody says, anytime anybody says the whole time, I go, the whole time.
Yeah, that's good.
Because you realize that she's realizing it for the first time and then also thinking like, oh, wait, this whole entire time. Like, you lied to me. I just watched this the other day.
But to me, it's so...
All of them.
It's so well performed. That's why it sticks out to me. She's amazing. Sally Field's amazing.
Because you can see that whole process of her going like, oh,
the realization.
Shit.
Yeah.
So horrible, compounded by all the stuff that's been happening in the last few weeks.
Actually, don't remember that line from the movie. But
all right, Sally Field's hater. Okay.
And it's because I hate Sally Field.
He mutes it anytime she's talking.
Can't be that important.
This way of fraudulently flying with COVID had led to several new variants like Delta, United, and restricted British Airways.
All right, so Bob told 3 jokes, I think. I only have one joke. Ricky, did you tell 3 jokes?
No, I have one more.
Oh, okay.
So my joke is very similar to what Jeremy's is, and it is like the real issue is that he flew with the Delta variant on a United flight.
Great, very timely. So, Jeremy, I liked your first joke about illegally voting for Joe Biden. I mean, that's good. I like the comparison there.
That was his worst joke he's probably ever done.
I disagree. For Jeremy, I'm for your second joke, and I'm remembering, I think this is the Scooby-Doo reference joke. I just wrote down Bob's was better. On your line.
Mine
So
was
sorry. It just was. He told it first, and it was punchier, I think. And for the same joke for Bob, I wrote down the word erection. It just was better.
That's how much you liked it.
It gave me one. Ricky, I think what?
I gave 1 out of 1 erections for this joke.
Ricky, I think you had a rough round. I was a little disappointed with your round.
You don't say.
It was also rough on us.
Well, I wrote down sex with self.
That's what you'd rather be doing than listening to his jokes.
Yeah, and then I stopped documenting your jokes. And then Bob, I think, had the round. He had the toodaloo. He had
That was a good one.
Yeah.
He had the Scooby-Doo reference. And then the last joke was a good one, too. With that being said, Bob was already in the lead with 2 points, but I'm giving him the final point to clutch this episode, and it is Bob's.
Bob's on a streak. Oh, congratulations, Bob.
Thank
Oh,
you.
he has all that free time now that he has a baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Somewhere in this background is a baby. Audience, can you spot it?
Over there. Over where?
I made you say overwear.
Overwhere is where Robert has his streak.
Congratulations to me, Bob Timmons. Thank you. Thank you. We are going to talk with our guest a little bit more, but before that, we are going to go to Carly Kastner to see if she has any burning questions.
Yeah, I want to know if you guys have
Can you show me I want to know.
me.
other strangers like me?
Never mind.
No. I mean, Jeremy had a good stream of thought there, so I want to know for my burning questions: are there strangers like me?
I hope to God there isn't.
Me too, actually. Okay, so I'm really kind of thinking about the episode and thinking about a reoccurring theme in the episode. And I want to know if you guys have ever fallen asleep at an inopportune moment.
It's like, have you guys ever had sex with yourselves?
Have you ever fallen asleep while having sex with yourself?
I was livid.
What's a sleep story that you guys have? Anything to do with sleep? I'll start, give you a moment to think about it. My fiance, he talks in his sleep, like very frequently. Oftentimes he sleepwalks, which is highly disturbing. The first few times we had slept over at each other's houses and I saw it, I was so.
Why were you at each other's houses? Just sleep, be in the same house.
Yeah, it was weird that we weren't in the same house together. But the first couple times we did sleepovers, I was like, he would say something to me and then I would respond and then he would like kind of change the subject. It was all very weird. And then I realized he was sleeping. Holy shit. So anyway, we just went up north for the weekend recently, and we were staying in a cabin with a group of friends celebrating someone's birthday. And there weren't enough bedrooms, but there were enough beds. So we shared a room with 3 other couples.
Ugh.
So there was a lot of people in this room. Okay, 4 beds. 4 couples, basically. And at about 3 a.m, Robert gets up, pitch black, everyone is dead asleep, and he starts walking around the room. And he starts talking to himself. He sits on the bed of another person. He sits on someone else's bed. He's talking. Then he gets up and he starts digging into my sheets, like literally, like it looks like he's digging into the ground. And I wake up and I literally said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he goes, "I gotta pee." And I was like, "Okay." Go to the bathroom. So he couldn't like navigate his way out of the room. And he says, "I think I'm just gonna pee right here." And I said, "No, don't do that." So I like leaped out of bed like the fastest I've ever done anything in my life. And I like started shoving him out of the room. And someone else from one of the other rooms, I guess, was in the bathroom. So he's like, "I don't know what to do." He's like half asleep. So I like started shoving him down the stairs, trying to get to the bathroom downstairs.
The bathroom was upstairs, but I tried to push him down the stairs.
So
my sleeping boyfriend.
Yeah, I pushed my sleeping boyfriend down the stairs. So we get downstairs and there is a bathroom downstairs. He will not go to that bathroom. I'm like physically trying to push him. He won't. And he goes, "No." And then he goes into the backyard. For some time, I have no idea. I was just like, fuck this. I went back to bed. I don't know when he came back to bed. I fell asleep.
Carly brings up a good point. If you know somebody who's sleepwalking, don't wake them up. Just push them down the stairs and leave them in the backyard.
I just couldn't, like, I wasn't going to follow him into the backyard. I couldn't.
No, you're not supposed to.
No, you're
not
not
them out there and leave them.
You're not supposed to follow them. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to lock them out of the house.
Yeah, it's safer for everybody, especially if there's a pool in the backyard.
Yeah, there wasn't. So it was just grass. So he was fine, you know. So anyway.
Sounds fine.
So your story about falling asleep at an inopportune time is your boyfriend sleepwalking at night when you're supposed to fall asleep.
I said, "Do you have any sleep stories?" Is kind of what I summarized at the end of that. But anyway.
I fell asleep at work one time, and not just like sitting at my desk, like normal people do, but I was actively assembling something with two other coworkers, and we all had our hands on this like column that we had to put together and raise up, and I'm holding it up while other people are attaching some hardware, and I'm holding it up and I'm falling asleep, and I'm literally asleep while working, holding this thing up, standing up on my feet, and then like they're like, hey, and then like open my eyes and they're like, "You were just asleep," like standing there holding this heavy thing up. Cool.
I don't sleep anymore and I miss it.
Tell us about
it. Well, he stays up all night writing his jokes. That's why they're so good.
Robert, tell us about an inopportune time you didn't sleep. He said in delirious laughter.
Yeah.
Ricky, we already know yours. Vanessa, do you have anything?
We do have faculty meetings, and they used to be in this big auditorium, and we turn out the lights because it was a projector and someone would present, and the person presenting has a very monotone, really calming voice. And every single time I was like, "Oh, nap time. Can't wait." And I would just fall asleep during the meetings.
You know what, Vanessa?
Most people did.
I did. I recently just finished a master's program, and one of the elements of the program is that we had to take this trip to Israel, and we're going to different spots in Israel, hearing from a museum curator who like created this gorgeous exhibit about like Arab and Israeli conflict and like all these really great things. I fell asleep in like 90% of the presentation.
Boring.
I was so tired. It wasn't boring. It was just like they had us on this crazy schedule. I wasn't adjusted to the time zone difference yet, but I wasn't the only one. There was one meeting we went to. We were sitting in a circle, which was the worst because you could see everyone's faces. And slowly you just start seeing people drop like flies because it was cold outside, warm in the building. The speaker he was talking like this and he was very monotone, like you say. And yeah. And slowly people just,
Yeah,
you know.
you can tell by like the head. You're like,
Yeah.
ugh.
You watch people do the head. There was a point, we were in one presentation where the director of the program, she fell asleep. That was my favorite moment. When
And
you
that
would watch
gave
the
us
teacher.
all permission.
Yeah, it did. So
I remember when I went to New York a couple of years ago, I was dead tired on the train, and there was a guy sitting next to me, and I dozed off, and I guess I was leaning to the side toward him, but I caught myself and I braced myself, but by doing that, I stomped on the floor extremely loudly, and I freaked out the guy sitting next to me because essentially I just leaned over and stomped on the ground right now.
Well, why was your hand on his penis?
To brace myself.
that's what I thought you were going to say. You accidentally,
Thank God he was erect.
you had something to really hold on to. And Ricky, you never fall asleep anywhere, right?
No, I fall asleep all the time. It's not a story, but
do?
damn it.
No.
Maybe if I nap, it'll come to me in my dreams.
I made mention last episode that I failed numerous math classes, and that's true because I always fell asleep in every math class, and I failed. I don't know how many times, 2-3 times. I could not stay awake during math.
I wonder.
Recording an interview, like somebody was recording an interview like on camera, and they were just kind of talking to them, and they were asking them all these questions about their career or something, and I fell asleep, and the way that I woke up was because I snored so loud that I woke myself. I woke up and I looked up, and they were both like looking at me like, "What? Are you asleep?"
That actually, my dad on a flight, he's the loudest snorer I've ever heard. It is unbelievable. I cannot. It's crazy, and he managed to fall asleep in those tiny airplane seats, and he had his head back, and it was unbelievable because it's the middle of the night and everyone's trying to sleep.
No.
And he is just going nuts with the story.
Did you wake him?
Yes, because I was like, you can't do this. You cannot do this to everybody. But it was unbelievable.
Even the pilot opens the cockpit. He's like, shut the fuck up back there.
Yeah, with his nightcap and his candle.
Is like the one that hangs. What, by the way?
Turn on the no snoring light.
Can someone explain why a nightcap needs to have like the Santa Claus hang on the end?
Yeah, the dangle isn't that uncomfortable to lay on?
I totally get a nightcap, right? Like people
I think
wear
it's a
nightcaps
sleep
for
cap,
their
by
hair.
the way. I think I misspoke.
Okay, but people wear sleep caps to protect their hair. I totally respect and understand. But what is with the old timey ones with like the droopy side and the ball at the end?
Just to protect their hair. They had long, lustrous hair. They wanted to keep it silky.
Why the ball though? Why the fuzz ball?
For fun.
Oh, while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you snore and the ball goes up and down with your breath.
Which is very necessary for good sleep.
Yeah. I like that when Jeremy just did that, I saw his elbow in Vanessa's camera.
Also,
What gave it away?
at the same time, Rick did this, and his elbow's out of frame. So a lot of good stuff happening. Is that it?
I don't think that'll do it.
Okay, well, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Oh, I'm sorry. Vanessa, is there anything that you would like to mention to the people?
Nope.
Nothing?
Nope.
Nothing you want to promote? Doesn't even have to be your thing. It's like, hey, there's a cool thing you should check out.
You should check out 123 Jokes. I heard it's really great.
There you go.
And
Well
share
done.
it with all your friends.
You heard it here.
So please do that. If you enjoy the show, maybe you want more of it. Well, you can get more by going to Patreon, and for just $3 a month, you get full video episodes, bonus content, access to classic episodes. Only the most recent 25 episodes are available to listen for free. So if you want the rest, you got to pay up, but it's worth it, and you get to help the show that you enjoy. But we also just appreciate you listening wherever you listen to podcasts. So wherever you do that, if you wouldn't mind, please give us some feedback, ratings, reviews, comments, suggestions for stories, share, subscribe. All that stuff really does help us out. So please do that. Aaron Kraft, he is not here today, but his music was on this show, and you can hear more of it over on SoundCloud at Captain Lovecraft, CAPT_LOVEKRAFT. And I think Rick also has a show before we go.
Fart Talk.
That's right.
It sounds really cool.
That's Fart Talk with Lexus Charday and Ricardo Leon. Check that out wherever podcasts are sold. And that should do it for the episode.
Can't wait to get to Sam Goody and check out that podcast.
Look how cute my doggy is.
All right, I'm Jeremy Martinez.
That was like a tumor or something.
I'm Bob Timmons.
I'm Carly Kastner.
I'm Miss Vanessa.
And this has been another episode of 1, 2, 3 Jokes.
Yes!